Sometimes, a single phone call changes everything. For Joe Hendry, that call came just 1 week before WrestleMania 41, and it came from none other than WWE COO Paul, Triple H, Levesque. A call that didn't just shift his schedule, it shifted his life. The plan was sudden. The moment, massive. Kevin Owens was out. WrestleMania needed a replacement. And Triple H knew exactly who could step in, deliver, and shock the world. Joe Hendry. When Hendry stepped into that arena, it wasn't just a performance. It was a realization of a dream forged through sweat, sacrifice, and obscurity. 60,000 fans. A deafening roar. One of the biggest stages in entertainment history. And across the ring, Randy Orton. The apex predator. The legend killer. A multi-time world champion with 2 decades of destruction behind him. And there was Joe Hendry. "I just wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania," Hendry said, still stunned days after. What is going on? What was going on was history. That moment, the spin into the RKO, it was more than just a great wrestling spot. It was a lightning bolt. It was a snapshot of someone proving they belong. WWE's production team has already confirmed that frame is being turned into a trading card. Hendry's name will now live in collections, in plastic sleeves, in fans' hands across the world. A moment immortalized. But the world almost never knew it was coming. This wasn't a build-up. There was no promo package, no teases, no vignettes. The match was a secret. Protected. Preserved. Only 2 or 3 people knew Hendry was walking through that curtain. Because sometimes the best moments in wrestling are the ones you can't predict. And that's why it hit so hard. Imagine the pressure. You get the call. You're going to WrestleMania. You're stepping in cold, in front of tens of thousands of live fans, millions more watching from home, against one of the greatest of all time. There's no warm-up, no ramp-up, just a target and a timeline. And Hendry crushed it. His pacing, his timing, his presence. He wasn't a rookie out there. He didn't look like someone making a debut. He looked like someone who had arrived. Because he had. There are people in this business who spend their whole careers waiting for an opportunity like this. And then there are the ones who get just one, and make it impossible to ignore them ever again. Hendry is in that second group now. He earned this with years of grinding. With charisma that refused to be overlooked. With talent that never stopped evolving. He wasn't handed a moment. He took it. You could see the pride in his eyes when he talked about the match afterward. He wasn't bragging. He was glowing. "I want this to be the best moment we can possibly make it," Hendry said. "And I'm so proud of what we did out there." And he should be. Because what they did wasn't just fill a gap on the card. They elevated WrestleMania 41. They gave fans a moment to talk about. They told a story, under pressure, with no margin for error. And that's what stars do. This wasn't just a match. It was a signal, a message, that Joe Hendry isn't a guy on standby. He's a guy who belongs. And with that RKO reversal, with that image burned into the minds of fans, he didn't just make his debut, he made his mark. There's something poetic about it too. For years, fans have said the path to the top in WWE is impossible without years inside the system. That you can't just walk in and command respect. But Hendry proved that's not entirely true. Because if you have the goods, really have the goods, and if the moment demands it, WWE will open the door. And when that door opened, Hendry didn't hesitate. He stepped in and stood tall. You have to wonder what's next. Because a WrestleMania debut against Randy Orton isn't something you just follow up with a random match on SmackDown. WWE knows what they've got now. And so does Hendry. He showed poise, physicality, and an ability to connect without needing weeks of build-up. And in 2025's WWE, that's rare. So don't be surprised if you start seeing more of him. Don't be surprised if Hendry becomes one of the guys that fans rally behind. Because this business, at its core, is still about moments. And Hendry's was unforgettable. The locker room noticed. The office noticed. The fans definitely noticed. And now, there's no going back. From a last-minute call to WrestleMania glory, Joe Hendry proved that sometimes the biggest stars are made in silence, then introduced with a roar. And when the curtain falls, and the arena empties, and the lights go out, one thing remains true. You can't teach that kind of presence. You just feel it.